guys, you know who it is, what's going on, when it's happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent, big ugly himself, Omari Ellis, Feo Grande on YouTube, back with another episode of This Guy Hasn't Seen, and as usual, I am joined by my co-host and running mate, one of my best friends in the world, El Director himself, Chill Bill Smith.
Hey Omari, thank you so much for having me back. As always, I love doing this. You're a buddy of mine and I enjoy your company. So we like talking about movies and stuff. Usually we'll send something back and forth that one guy has seen and the other one hasn't. Sometimes we go a little bit off the playbook and we do a little bit of a outside suggestion, these guys haven't seen. This week we did one of those. Ever since our experience with RRR and then Bahubali, I have been interested in dipping my toe into the Indian film world. Luckily, a wonderful coworker of mine, Manisha, was able to help me out with a few suggestions. And of the ones that she suggested to me, I thought that this one would potentially fit us, be a nice, because she mentioned that this was a story about the first Indians learning that learned cricket. And it's like a cricket movie is kind of how she described it to me. So I was like, oh, okay, a sports movie. That's an avenue for you and I to get into on this. So let's give it a shot. So we decided that we were gonna go ahead and do one of our little special these guys haven't seen and take a suggestion from our community.
Was this the same one that recommended Bahubali?
No. Bahubali was recommended by a viewer of ours.
Oh, that's right.
On the channel.
You're right.
No, Manisha has recommended a couple other movies for me, but I looked them up and they were very romantic movies. They looked like they were very sweet love story movies, which may not necessarily be something for two guys to bro down about, but it might be. Maybe we'll see. We'll see.
Bros
It's a long life, and I plan to be doing this for quite a while. So we'll see where we get.
Exactly. So with that, I guess we'll get into expectations. I didn't say what the movie was. Yeah,
I kind of jumped into that quick, but then I didn't say the movie in case you still had opening to do.
No, that's fine.
But yeah, so this week we are watching Lagaan. In some spaces, when you search it, Lagaan : Once Upon a Time in India. It is from 2001. It is rated PG. The people of a small village in Victorian India stake their future on a game of cricket against their ruthless British rulers. It is directed and written by Ashutosh Gawarki. It stars Amir Khan, Raghabir Yadav, and Gracie Singh.
Okay.
I already explained why this has come to our door. Omari, what were you anticipating?
I believe when you mentioned it to me, you mentioned it was a movie about cricket. So I was expecting that. Cricket is a sport I had never watched a single game of. Anytime I saw it, it kind of looked weird, and I didn't take the time. I'm like, I don't know the rules. I'm not going to bother watching this today. But it always looked like a silly sport to me. So a movie about cricket, I was like, all right, I get to learn about cricket. Maybe the sport, maybe I find another sport I like, or maybe it's as silly as I think it is. But let's check this out. I didn't even look at the whole summary that said it was, people playing cricket for their country's freedom or anything like that. But shortly as the movie starts, I'm like, that's probably how this is going to work out. But yeah, I was expecting cricket and it to be silly and to learn about cricket and see if it's as silly as curling when I finally learned about curling, which I still don't fully understand. but they yell "har" a lot. Har, 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 har. Yeah.
So I was I would say that, like, I knew about cricket. I was because of what I know and would assume on movies from India, I was going to anticipate musical numbers
True.
potentially. Um,
Oh yeah, I saw it was 4 hours long, and I was like, ah, yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It is a long one. Peek behind the curtain. Almost didn't do it. It's so long. I messaged you and I was like, I'm about to pull the plug because I had just found out that it was almost 4 hours.
I'm like, yeah, we could do something. We haven't committed to it on air yet. We can always kick this can down the road.
But yeah, other than that, I didn't know what to anticipate. Honestly, if anything, I wasn't quite anticipating this. Is a lot of the Indian films that I've seen other than RRR are things that I have seen because they are ridiculous in nature, in some way or fashion. Like the CGI is a little bit behind the times, or there's just outlandish things being done by the main protagonist or something like that. Things defying gravity, like RRR things that are happening, but like not in like a cool way, but like more like a funny way to our Western eyes kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure if that's what was gonna that might have been something I was kind of like quietly anticipating preparing for. I mean, we can go into initial reactions and stuff, but like pretty quickly on, I'm realizing that that's not the movie we're watching. This is
Correct.
more like a film. This is
Yes.
this is India doing
Yeah,
a historical epic
I
thing.
was expecting some kind of like Shaolin soccer style cricket movie. But you're right. It was more of a film.
Yes. Yeah, like this was nominated for an Oscar. I found out after watching.
Hey,
Uh,
it's
this was
almost
nominated
that
for.
time of year anyway, so.
Yeah. uh, so yeah, this was nominated for Best Foreign Feature Oscar. And once the title, like, it already had a little bit of a vibe, and then the title came up of Once Upon a Time in India, and I almost messaged you to be like, it's a Once Upon a Time movie. Um, uh, and I was like, oh, is that already hinting to me what's going on? And then yeah, at one point I think I yelled to Jen, who was working in the kitchen at the time. I think I yelled, "Oh, this is like a good movie." Or this is this is like a movie. This isn't like
Yeah,
great, like the film embodiment of an explosion or something
exactly.
like that, whatever RRR was, because it was a good movie, but it's not a
It's
this is a
also a
traditional film.
A. RRR also nominated for an Oscar.
Yes, for song. Let's be real.
And winner. Hey, an Oscar winner's an Oscar winner.
Yeah,
I
so
want
is
to be
Three
an
Six
Oscar
Mafia.
winner. That's what I want to be. And
Yep.
so is 3-6 Mafia.
Yeah,
And
Three
Eminem.
Six Mafia have Oscars.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Uh, so I guess I'll pick it.
We're here for Oscar facts, folks. We got you covered. Did you know 3-6 Mafia had an Oscar? Hustle and Flow.
Oh yeah. Okay. Whoop that. No.
No, it would, was it? It's hard out here.
I was hard out here for a pimp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, come on, guys. Like, come on. Can we talk for a second? Why was that? Why did that win an Oscar? I don't have anything against It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp.
I'm about to say, do you know how hard it is out here for a pimp? It's really fucking hard.
It's probably pretty hard. I saw the movie. It's hard. I saw the movie. It's hard, but it's also not that hard. Like he he managed to do a lot of other things other than being a pimp too.
Well,
It was called Hustle and Flow.
That is true. It was called Hustle and Flow, and this movie was called Lagaan, Once Upon a Time in India. And yeah, I saw that. I didn't know that was also known as its title. I just thought it was funny that it said Once Upon a Time in India with the opening credits. And I'm like, well, these opening credits are a thing, because I'm still expecting... Because I didn't have the knowledge about the Oscar or any of that. I'm still expecting, like I said, the over-the-top India movie. But quickly I realized, okay, let me put this in a different mind frame. This is a film as opposed to a movie. And there's nothing wrong with films. Films are obviously films. Anyhow... So get to that, and then we get the backstory. There's a greedy king, or it's, it seems what appears to be a greedy king and a drought. And also the British Empire is here as well, much like in RRR. The British Empire is occupying India at this time, so already know who the villains are gonna be. And the British Empire has a deal with the provinces and the kings of the different provinces where we're going to tax the shit out of y'all and y'all tax the shit out of your people and then give a portion of that tax to us type of deal. And a lot of the kings agree with it despite that. But a drought has made it more difficult for people, which brings it to the beginning of the movie. And we see, like, the villagers just talking about random shit. And then we see these two villagers argue about a fucking chicken. And this dude is mad that the other dude's kids are disturbing his chickens. And I typed in my notes, these dudes fighting about chickens, I hope, is a through line or, like, E-plot joke, whatever thing. It doesn't have to be the B plot. We don't need to focus on it. Just as this 4-hour long movie goes, this needs, and however much time passes in this movie, I want to see these two chicken wars continue as just a side thing. And
it just pop up a couple more times.
I'm about to
and
say,
then their skills in that battle are highly referenced and needed. Yeah, but yeah, the actual chicken battle does resurface a couple.
There is a point to where I type it all caps. Yes, chicken fight continues. That's what I wanted. I typed it earlier and I got it. But yeah, we meet the people. We meet our main female character, Gowrie. She's talking about this dude Bhuvan, while this other guy, Laka, standing there, clearly has the hots for Gowrie, and Gowrie clearly does not reciprocate. Yeah. She's about
you immediately know that, all right, this dude's gonna be trouble.
Yeah, she's about Bhuvan, and they eventually...
She's adorable.
She is. Yeah. She is. And I'm like, oh, she likes Bhuvan. So I'm assuming Bhuvan's our MC. And then it cuts to some dude saving animals from hunters. And I'm like, so yes, that's gotta be our main. That's gotta be our MC, Bhuvan. He's saving animals from hunters. The like saintliest thing he can do. But he gets
crazy intense eyes. That is like this whole actor's thing is like intense eyes.
Yeah.
I am going to give super fucking intense eyes all the time.
Yep. That was his thing. I hate it. Anyway, we cut to find out that,
on the hunt we meet Captain.
Oh yeah, on the hunt we meet
character.
Captain Russell. He's the one that was hunting the animals. Bhuvan gets caught and threatened by him, like, if you do this again, I will fucking kill you.
good Captain Russell. I'm not gonna lie. So that is Paul Blackthorne.
Of course it is.
Um, yeah, sounds very English. But yeah, want to shout these guys out as much as possible because I mean, so yeah, I don't need to. I don't know where this is. I feel like this is easily a movie where you were going to get bored by and not like, or not necessarily get bored by, but just not.
Oh, me? Just
Yeah.
just knowing me.
But something about this movie really captivated me, and I really, really liked all of the actors. So I'm going to try and give them shout outs whenever we bring up their characters for
The
first
start
time.
the start was a bit slow, but there were still but doing this show, and as I've gone on ad nauseum about, I like trying to watch things with the intent of liking them first. But anyway, I do, and I've even if something is starting to be boring, I have to look at it like this is a 4-hour movie. They're going to take their time with it. Luckily, I'd already watched fucking RRR and 2 Bahubalis
Yeah.
to get me in the mindset, for Indian length movies. So even though stuff was going slow for the first time, and at one point in the movie, I was gonna be like, damn, I know I said was the longest 90 minutes I had. This is good, but it's still a long ass 90 minutes.
It still does feel very long. I broke this up into 2 nights.
I did it all in one.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I credit you, sir. Because the first night I couldn't even get through half of it. I got through probably like 45%.
Yeah.
On the progress bar. Maybe if you cut out the credit sequence at the back end, I was probably right at about 50. But man, it was a long haul.
I also held out hope that I also put it together in my head. I'm like, once the plot started coming into play, which, I mean, eventually they gotta play cricket against the people, but I'm like, when you get to this big cricket game that the movie's clearly gonna be about,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure the last hour and a half is just gonna be this fucking game in real time or some shit. Because I still don't know how cricket works as I'm watching this. I'm like, are they literally just gonna play the last game of cricket in real time and just like you see the cricket clock going down? I'm like, if they perfectly plan out a fucking movie scene, of a sports game, a movie interpretation of a sports game, that would be interesting. But, so I was wondering, there was enough, and like you said, the roles of the actors doing things, the actors were really good. There were some things I noticed real quick when it first started looking like it was gonna rain and the people started singing. I was like, and this is how this movie ends up being 4 hours. These musical numbers.
Yeah, it's gonna add 6 minutes right there.
And they have
10,
they have like 5 of them throughout the fucking movie, and dance numbers, and I'm like, it has to deal with the plot, and I mentioned it before. They're semi-narrative with these song things as well, because I mentioned with the RRR thing, just like the holy shit, there's a betrayal, he pushed him off the roof now, oh no, the brothers, can they really you know what I mean? That shit cracked me up with the like the narration choir. So I'm cool with that, and I'm cool with musicals, but I don't know, something about a lot of these songs, I was just like, all right, we can wrap it up and move on. But yeah. Anyway, so Russell meets up with the king. He's the head of the cantonation or whatever it's called. Contingency, the type of building camp they got. Cantonation or something like that. And he's pretty much a liaison between the local kings and Britain. And he's negotiating with the king, and King's like, hey, there was no rain for the past year. My people have come begging to me to for not tax them this upcoming year. Is there a way we can deal with that? And he gets offered like a sausage. He's like, haha, vegetarian. And they're like, okay. And then he goes, sure, I can raise the taxes for the year. You just got to do one condition. Condition? Eat the meat. What? And he just gets real fucking serious, like, eat that fucking sausage. But that betrays my religion. But you're the one trying to get the taxes for your things. I cannot betray my religion. Okay, well, you're paying double the taxes. Everyone, all the provinces, double taxes now. Goodbye. And when people try to complain, because eventually they go up there and they find them playing cricket, and Bouvan's like, you guys are up here playing your stupid fucking game instead of fucking, helping the people who are starving. He's like, you called my game stupid. Well, how about this? No taxes. If you can beat us at our stupid game. And the people are like, don't say anything, Bouvan. You shut your fucking mouth. We're not playing the game for these fucking taxes. Oh, not enough? No taxes for a year. 2 years. And Bouvan's not saying shit. The most stone, poker face, whatever. He's like, but if you lose, triple the taxes. And they're like, don't you say nothing. He's like, still won't say anything? 3 years. No taxes. And not even just for you, for all the provinces in India. Which... we skip around a lot anyway. I'm so happy the fucking British government, because obviously Bouvan accepts the deal. I'm so happy the British government looked at that dude like he was fucking stupid when they got him there. They're like, what the fuck is wrong? Obviously they're the bad guys. You don't want them to be getting these taxes. But from a character, just from a realistic standpoint, this random fucking douche in one province has promised the whole country that they don't have to pay taxes for 3 years if he loses a cricket game.
No, just the province gets to not pay taxes.
No, by the time he gets Bouvan to agree.
Just the province.
No, he does say all the provinces.
Just the province.
That's why the other provinces come and yell.
It's just the province. It's the escalation is just your village, and then it goes from just your village to the entire province. It never goes to the entire country. He is only in control of a very small sliver of India. And that's why he gets called in and is like, what? And the heads are like,
regardless
what the fuck
of
are you
how
doing?
much he gets the whole territory. I thought he was promising other people's territories too, and you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
No. Just
like, I didn't
just
think
that
he
his
had
entire
more control.
territory
I thought he was
would
just...
not have to pay taxes.
But they were like...
That would be insane, and I don't think he could foot the bill for that.
I didn't think he could either. I'm like, what? Yeah, you're telling him he's gonna have to pay the tax instead. He can't pay fucking taxes for a whole fucking country. What the fuck?
Yeah. Now a province filled with desert land and farmers. He as a British person of that time, he probably unfortunately could easily,
especially since he had been taking the taxes for who knows how long leading up to that.
Right. But yeah, triple the tax or no taxes for 3 years. And of course Bouvan eventually
agrees.
Has to take it, or else we won't have a movie.
Yeah, and now something that Russell fucked up with was giving them 3 months because he hadn't said that he'd give them time to prepare.
Right, that was a
beforehand.
weird thing. That was like, all right, I'll see you in 3 months.
I'm like, you're giving them time to learn the game? Because this motherfucker said he could beat you in the game right now. He's just like, it's just like Dalai Lama. I'm sorry, Dalai Linda. Or Gilly Linda. And he's like, yeah, nah. I would have been, if I'm Russell, I'm like, oh, you think you good? 11 of you, get over here right now. Let's see. Haha, y'all don't know the rules. Boop, boop, boop. Pay your 3 times taxes. Get the fuck off my field.
Yeah, it could
If I'm
literally
Russell.
happen right there. There was no agreement in place for the timing.
But what I do like about Russell is, as a character, being a villain and an asshole. One, I thought it was nice that the villain at least took the time to learn the local language. Because he could have just been one of those. You know what I mean? Usually racists don't even bother learning the language.
Right,
They're just like, what did he say? I don't speak mongrel type shit. He didn't do that. But what's her name came up. She's like, that's not fair. And he's like, she's like, that's unfair. He goes, so's life. And walks away. I'm like, he's not wrong, even though he's the villain. I'm like, that is a good response if you're him to that's unfair.
Yeah, no, I said it when you first brought him up. He's a good villain. He is. He's a good, and I don't mean good as in he's a good person.
No.
He's just he makes it, and that's what good villains do. Is they give you those few little moments to be like, oh well, I mean, I would. Oh my God, would I make this decision? Or that kind, or like, oh, he's actually he speaks the language, and not only does he speak it, but he can like understand when they're talking to each other. Stuff. So like, yeah, that's
Also-
a higher level. It also
Although,
tells
like
you
we
that
said,
you're
he
very
didn't need
intelligent.
to give them 3 months. He did not need to give them 3 months. Technically, that was his. That as spoilers. That was his undoing. But hey, he could have just played him right there. Get the fuck off my field, or just said triple tax. Deal with it. No cricket game involved. How dare you guys come and, betray my eyes with your image? Get the fuck off out of my face. Triple taxes. Oh, you're not leaving? Quadruple taxes. He could have easily just done that.
Yeah.
But that would have been, one, way less interesting, and he probably would have just been murdered on the spot, let's be honest. He's surrounded by those people. They'll deal with the consequences later. He's sitting there in front of them yelling quadruple taxes. That's the last thing they came to hear. They're like, it ain't rained in 2 years. Because it ain't even like he wants money. He wants fucking grains and crops in an area where it ain't rained in a year. Pay me double your crops. What?
Yeah.
So the villagers don't like Buvan because he bet all the future. He bet triple taxes on a game that they know nothing about, and he's like, "We're damned if we do, damned if we
Yeah,
don't."
I'm kind of. It was a little weird that no one in the village, I feel like it kind of needed to be like a 50-50 or something,
Yeah,
because
like-
it's not that hard of a decision for Buvan. I mean, like,
Oh,
yeah, we were already walking up there because double taxes was impossible, guys.
yeah. It's either we pay double taxes, which we can't, or we pay triple taxes, which we can't. or just throwing this out there, we try, we somehow win, and there's no taxes.
Like, side note, we paid half taxes last year because we couldn't do it. We couldn't get to 1. And then they wanted us to do double. And you're pissed because I accepted a deal that might lead us to triple. It's like, all right, so you can either get stabbed 10 times or you can play me in a game of billiards. But if you lose, I'm gonna stab you 20 times.
But if
Or
you
I'll just
win-
stab you 10 times right now. Which one do you want to do? Do you want to play the pool game?
I'm playing the pool game. I'm not even good at pool. I'm gonna get, but I'm at least try. Anything can happen, you know. You can, you can scratch right off the fucking break.
Boom. Yeah, boom. Yeah, second hit, 8-ball goes in. You win.
I need it.
No stabbings.
No stabbings.
So yeah, that would, I guess that's when we need to bring up old girl, white lady.
Elizabeth.
Yeah. But which, by the way, my wife and I were just getting such a kick out of every time the subtitles said "these whites," or like anytime the villagers describe them as these white
people or these whites.
those white people, or like dirty whites, or
that white lady.
Oh my god, Jen and I just I love it. I think it's hilarious. Because we're not the butt of the joke enough in that regard, especially with the atrocities that the British would have pulled over there.
Yeah,
I think they get it pretty easy in this film. But yeah, so we get Elizabeth, who is the sister of Captain Russell, which I don't know if they described that well enough for quite a while.
Yeah,
I kept wondering what their relationship was.
That's exclamation point question mark. Elizabeth is his sister? Like when they say it later in the movie, I'm like, that's who she is?
Yeah, I didn't know at her introduction, I assumed that she was his spouse, or his courtship thing going on.
Betrothed.
Yeah, and then there was a scene where there was like a ball or something at the captain's quarters, and she was dancing with everyone that wasn't him. Yeah. And I was like, okay, well,
what's going on
here? That's a little weird. Why isn't she dancing with Captain Russell? And then and then she's obviously, like, from basically the jump, wants that D from Move On.
Oh yeah,
like, so hard. She's giving him the eyes.
She falls heavy, and she's like, I'm gonna teach these guys cricket because fuck Captain Russell. That was unfair to tell him to do this game. And then she asks them, like, by the way, she learns in like a day how to speak Indian, or how to speak their language, because she goes from I need my translator to the next day she's like halfway to knowing the language. She's just like, he's like, wait, you learned it? He taught me. In a night? You went from I don't know how to say hello to let me speak half your language and teach you how to play cricket?
Mira Nam William A. That's what I know off of watching RRR 27 times and watching 2 YouTube videos on how I say my name. Miranam A.
And you know more than me. But yeah.
But yeah, this girl basically is semi-fluent overnight.
Yeah, and she wants to teach them. I did think it was funny when she's like, so what do you guys know? And he goes on this whole thing. Oh, it's just like Galilinda. You know, you do so, and she goes, oh God, he doesn't know anything. Like, he knows nothing. This is gonna suck.
Let me ask you, Omari, after watching this film, do you know what cricket is?
I have a better idea than I did before. I'm still not entirely sure about how the runs are calculated, but I get it now. Like, you know, if you hit the wickets, they're out. Or if you hit the wickets, they're out. Or you catch the ball when they hit it, like in baseball.
Catch it on the fly, you're out.
Aside from that, they run back and forth, and you can only really break their wickets if they're not at base, pretty much.
Correct. Yeah, there's safe zones on either side of the pitch.
Yeah, and
which is in between those 2 wickets.
Yeah, and each side gets a turn until every one of their players has been taken out for the game.
Right, or it's an allotted amount
or
of bowls of pitches.
or a lot of amount of
Um,
pitches. Yeah.
yeah, it's a certain amount of pitches or number of outs, whichever comes first. But yeah, you pretty much you got it pretty spot on. There's two forms of scoring essentially that you didn't fully break down, and you may already know them. Um, so there is well, once I hit the ball, the distance traveled by the ball is a scoring system.
Okay.
That's why they always refer to the boundary lines. And at one point, Captain Russell says, "Stop the twos, stop the
Stop the
fours,
fours.
let the singles go." There's a certain boundary line that if it exceeds that, it's a 2 point hit, and then if it goes another part, it's a 4 point hit. And then in addition to that, every time that the ball is live, as you mentioned, the players can run back and forth.
Okay.
Every exchange of that is one.
Gotcha.
So usually a boundary, which hitting it completely out of the field is a five because it's the four hit and then one exchange,
And a six is a
before
four
the
hit
ball is
and
officially
two.
dead. Well, I don't know. I don't know if they can get a six because the ball's officially dead.
Oh, I thought they mentioned the six at one point.
So yeah. Again, we're both Americans, so I may have just exceeded my knowledge on cricket.
I'm just going off of subtitles in the movie randomly that I may or may not have read wrong.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so she's teaching them, and Gowry likes Buvan, but Buvan, and she gets a fortune teller for one of my favorite characters in the movie, fucking
I knew that
Guran.
was gonna be I was like, this Omari's gonna love this guy. I mean, you can't not love that guy. He's fucking awesome. He's awesome.
Fucking Guran, he's a fortune teller. He tells her, she's gonna fall in love within the year and be married, but there's gonna be an obstacle. And she likes Buvan. Buvan seems like he's oblivious to it.
Rajesh Vivek is Guran. Does an
Okay.
amazing job.
Yeah.
Doesn't look anything like how he looks in the movie in his IMDb picture. I'm so glad you remembered that his name was Guran, or else we wouldn't have been able to figure that out.
Yeah, but no, Buvan seems like he's oblivious to her advances. I'm like, we've all been there at some point in our lives. But as the movie goes on, I'm like, when they have a song, because obviously we mentioned the white lady Elizabeth really clearly has the hots for Buvan, and Buvan really wants to learn how to play this game so he can save his country. So he's trying to pay attention to everything this lady says. Also, he's a nice person, so he's not really treating her like a dick anyway. He's treating her like a friend. But Jesus, Gowry doesn't like the fact that she's getting all that attention. And then they have one of their numerous dance numbers where she's like, if Russia, how could she not be jealous? And he's like, well, grow the fuck up, bitch. You know I love you. Pretty much, it's like, grow the fuck up, bitch. You know I love you. I just talk to people. And I'm like, wait. So what's the deal with this song? Because I thought he was oblivious, but in this song, he's clearly acting like, girl, clearly I'm into you too, despite the fact that I don't act like it anywhere else in the movie. And then she has a line in the song. If you care so much, why ain't you said shit? And I'm like, is this conversation actually happening?
Now, is that the one that is simultaneous with Elizabeth's song?
No,
that's the one later on.
That's the one that is before.
Because it fully confirms.
No, that was when it confirms. But this is where they're still back and forth, because then they go right back to not actually being a thing after the song. I thought that song would be how they said it, because he clearly had the line.
It's musical number logic. Like the things that happen
They're
inside the musical
talking
numbers
to each other. They're not talking to the proverbial wall. You know, it's not like Summer Lovin' where the two of them are completing each other's sentences, but they're talking to two different groups.
Right.
They're talking to each other.
True. But only in the musical number.
Yes, but that's why it was confusing.
Like later on in the movie, they actually speak about their love before the number and after the number.
That's what I'm saying. It just in the moment of the number itself. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Because I'm trying to see if I was misreading the situation the whole time.
I mean, well, up until then, we weren't sure of Bhuvan's intentions.
Yeah.
Like, there was one point where I was like, is he just going to be, like, an asexual character? Like, he's just like, no, that's how pure of heart and good I am, that I couldn't think of you as, like, a sexual being. Because that's what he is. He is... Like you were saying earlier about his relationship with Elizabeth, that he's just a good person who like makes eye contact when you're talking and listens to you very intently and all of that. But he's also like he is the friend to the crippled and the outcast. He is never shy to make the inspirational speech to tell the entire village that they're stutid.
Oh yeah, his speeches. This man will give some speeches throughout this movie.
But yeah, I love right about here is where we're just like we're assembling the team through random skill sets and characteristics that different villagers have. Like for instance, the chicken war duo.
Yeah.
We have to bring on the antagonist of the chicken war because he's always whipping that slingshot around. So he's got to be able to throw a pitch well.
Yeah.
And then the guy with the chickens is always grabbing those chickens. So he's got to be able to catch a ball well.
Well, correct me.
What else you got? You got like the big strong dummy.
Yeah,
who, like,
the drummer
who, like,
guy
works at the temple. Yeah, the drummer.
Yeah,
you gotta get him because he's gonna be strong with a bat.
I know, and he just also really wanted to fucking play. Like he
was one of the first volunteers.
Fucking one of my favorite intros and auditions to the team is Deva, because that motherfucker just comes up. Serious business.
Oh my god, I love it. Yeah, I'm from
a
village over. I heard what you're doing. You're fucking up white people. I will fuck up white people.
I know this game. I played it with the motherfuckers. I left.
Oh my god, yeah, his speed. Like,
what do you need to do? All I need to know is when I throw the ball, it's to smash those wickets.
Yeah.
And when I swing the bat, it's to smash the ball to smithereens. Yes, this man is here.
And this time, alternatively, Elizabeth is like, "Oh, he does know what he's doing."
Yeah, she's like, well, they might. That's one of those things. That was like, oh shit, they might actually have gotten a good addition to the team. Fucking, but yeah, as they're forming this team, and right before that previous number where I just talked about the confusion, there was a moment where it looked like Bhuvan was starting to go after like Elizabeth. Like you could see things from Gowry's eyes to be like, yeah, and I literally was like, Gowry, you better say something. And then that song starts, and I'm like, wait, is she actually saying something? What the fuck's going on?
And we don't necessarily know if that's a cultural thing.
Yeah,
because
I know
it is heavily in arranged marriage.
Not even just that society, just society in general. Generally, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying it's how the world has ended up working out. 9 times out of 10, it's not the girl that comes to the guy wanting the relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if she does want it, 9 times out of 10, it's the other way around. But
it's expected
still,
for the male to make the first move. And in that society, it might even be that it's in poor taste for both of them to make the first move, and that their parents have to do it for them.
Exactly. But it was just one of those things where, like, as it's going on, I'm like, oh, you gonna need to say something because he about to go with her. You know what I mean? Type deal. This is what I thought.
Yeah, they were painting it like there was strong chemistry going on, but like as you said, by the time Buvan actually admits to Gauri that he wants to be with her, he's basically like, I was just being nice to the white lady. What are you talking about? Like, she's teaching us cricket.
That cracked me up so much when because when I realized just how, sprung, what's her name was, and then she pulls him to the side to try to talk to him after she already got oh yeah, Laka's hating ass went ahead and ratted to fucking Captain Russell about her teaching him, and then that's when we find out that that's his sister or whatever. And I'm like, would this betrayal by Laka have hit harder if we didn't see his deal made first? Like, if he just was playing bad during the game, it's like, what's going on? And then it cut back to it. Would the betrayal have hit harder, or is it good that we saw it early on? I think it's better that we saw it early on, because as you mentioned, it's kind of hinted at early that this dude's going to be an issue.
Right. Well, and because we get the redemption arc.
And
Like,
because
if it was just a reveal that he's been a spy and he's fucked up a crucial moment of the game, and then the village like kicks him to the fucking
curb or
to the
whatever.
curb, that would be something that you'd probably want to reveal closer to the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably because of the redemption arc, you want to see him going through, because he's a secondary character, so you want to see him going to Captain Russell and doing all these things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, he's consumed by jealousy, and like again, another. Let me pull it up. Let's pull it up here. Yashpal Sharma, like when he's discovered, his plea to Bhuvan is very well done, and he convinces me that like, yeah, he was just consumed by jealousy. He really wanted.
It is like, I wanted Gowry. She wants you. I want you to suffer. That was all I was thinking.
You can almost immediately feel from the beginning of the movie that this is a like, I'm always number two situation.
Yeah.
Like, this has been their entire lives. Is like, I'm always fucking number two to fucking Bhuvan. This motherfucking Bhuvan dude. Always like running faster, jumping higher, getting the girl before me. Like I feel like you can just feel that seed in
Bhuvan. Everyone's talking about Bhuvan. But yeah, it was funny because Elizabeth wasn't going to be able to come around as often. And as she's leaving, she starts talking about how Bhuvan's her first friend. And I'm like, oh no, he's her first friend too? Oh, she really attached.
Sad. That was
she
so
really,
sad.
really attached. And then I just had to laugh. I just had to laugh when she went, I just had to tell you, I'm falling in love with you. And he just goes, sorry, I don't speak English. She's just walking away saying it. And he immediately goes and proclaims his love to Gowry. And then they have their dance number when they're celebrating. And then they cut to her Disney ass sitting. It was like something out of a Disney movie when she started singing.
I did not love her side of the song. I did not. It was the worst part of the musical numbers.
It was hilarious to me because it was so out of place.
Yeah, and like, yeah, her, and I mean, maybe it's because they were writing in a second language, but the lyrics for her were super cheesy. It sounded super cheesy. And, it was, yeah. I was so glad that what was going on the other side was happening, because I did not want Bhuvan to be with Elizabeth at all.
Me neither. I wanted him to be with Gowry.
And then we pretty much cut Elizabeth out of the story for a minute. Like, she doesn't, like, it's like, oh, the things are awkward now, we're not going to address it. And because for a while, there was a minute there where I was like, oh, so are we just Are we just done with that Elizabeth bitch? Like, that's
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, I was just like, this song was, but it was more hilarious to me giving him not understanding her proclamation. It was more hilarious to me that that song was going the way it was, with the two of them celebrating their love while she's over here fantasizing super hard, just completely delusional. And I think that's, like you said, I was not rooting for her to
the
be with
moment
him.
I thought it was real. I thought it was real at first when she popped up in the village cosplaying like Gowry. I was like, oh my god, she's crazy. Oh my god, she's crazy. She's crazy. Oh my god, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, wait, we're still in her fantasy line.
She fell super hard. Jesus. But yeah. Damn, I typed so many lines about how hilarious I found that in the moment. Just like, anyway, so yeah, Buvan eventually makes another speech because
I just popped open the trivia on IMDb. The first cut of the film was 7 hours and 30 minutes long. It's the very first trivia item on IMDb.
That's a day's worth of fucking work with a meal break. That's a day's work with a meal break.
Yeah, it is.
7 hours and 30 minutes.
They showed you every moment of the cricket.
that
Like you
one,
literally just watched a cricket game.
that one was real-time cricket game.
Yeah.
That one was real-time cricket game.
Oh
what I
my
thought was
goodness.
gonna be.
That's hilarious.
Oh my god. Whew, they're a different breed over there. They are built different to watch them kind of movies. You gotta watch the director's cut. Can you imagine?
It's gonna be 9 hours.
The Lagaan director's cut? My god. Where were we?
Sorry for interrupting you.
Oh, no problem. That's just crazy. Speaking of the movie, Buvan, eventually they come across a gentleman whose hand is,
Crippled.
yeah, but his trait causes it for when he throws the ball, it gets a spin on it. And Buvan's like, that's gonna be our ace, pitcher guy. He's the reason we're gonna fucking win this. All right, we gotta get him, but no one wants to touch him because he's of the lower caste.
Yeah,
And-
they call him lower caste or literally untouchable.
Untouchables. Yes.
He's one of the untouchables.
Yes, Buvan not only touches him, but then he gives yet another speech of epic proportions that literally makes the entire village go, damn, you right, we will change our ways
Oh
and
shit,
accept
we're a
him.
bunch of assholes, aren't we?
Yeah, we will
Like,
accept
yeah,
him.
he gives him a speech and then like really touches him. He's like, yeah, this is my man right here.
He's like, we winning this shit because of Kasha. Or, not Kasha, it's Kashra? I eventually typed it. I think it's Kashra. Katra. Yeah.
Aditya Lakia.
Yeah. So we finally, after getting Katra on the team, I think that's when we end up with 11 finally, and we get our training montage, and I'm like, oh my god, we're this far in, and we're just now actually getting like the training montage to speed up the training. Which
Yeah, earlier in the movie, or like I guess like an hour and a half ago in the movie, I vocalized to Jed. I was like, so right here is where you would insert the 3-minute montage of them learning cricket and training how to be a team together. But I bet we're just going to watch that happen.
pretty much. Yeah, exactly. But they do eventually get there, and it kind of fast forwards to the thing, to the day of the game. And I'm like, okay, day of the game. Now I get to figure out how cricket works. And the first day they're like, yes, this is a 3-day match. We will have the so-and-so, so-and-so. I'm like, 3 days? Man, cricket's weird. 3
Well,
days?
the British are weird. The
Well,
British are weird, and like that. It's because like it's just like they're like, yes, we play cricket from 1 to 4, and no different. Like we must have our tea, or some shit like that.
I love
Uh,
how different, like, it's so amazing how different cultures develop to get to where they are with random things like that. Like you say, like the mindset of everyone in this region just being, this is the way it is. This is proper. This is this is how we do things as a gentleman in Britain. That's
especially in this time, Victorian era. Yeah,
Yeah.
they are. It might be at its height of
Yeah.
like, this is what you do. Your day is scheduled because you are a British man of this amount of class,
Exactly.
and you have to do these amount of things.
Or even subtle mannerisms of a culture
Mhm.
and how they can come to be. Like the head bob.
Yeah,
I I don't have a problem with it. I just want to know how it came to be. Like
I mean, want. I'm curious if it's just
if
bits.
it's yeah, like that's the most I can think is rather than not like an agreement, it's side to side. But how did either of us decide
That this is yes.
that that's I'm agreeing with you, I understand what's going on,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, it's just
It's just
humanity,
weird.
man.
Yeah.
Humanity's weird and I like it. It's okay to be weird. Anyway, cricket, speaking of weird, 3 days and one team bats, and we mentioned the overall like how they bat until they're out, and then the other team goes, but it's over the course of 3 days. Who's gonna bat first? The British. And I was like, so who's gonna tell the audience how this game works? Because the audience starts coming from all around to like watch. I'm like, who's gonna tell those folks how the game works? And then that's what they say, and I'm like, okay, because they're here to watch, because they're province's future's on the line, but they don't know. They never heard of this sport either. So how do they know if it's close or not? But they get there's enough announcing going on. But I said it. I'm like, so this is a 3-day thing. This first day is gonna suck for our heroes. And boy, it goes right to sucking. Fucking Bhuvan's like, oh no, that was later on. But they're trying to pitch the first day, and just nothing's working. Fucking every weapon the people are supposed to have just ain't going on. Kotra's hand ain't spinning the ball right. Fucking Deva's not on his shit. No one's doing anything good. But I think they managed to get like 2 wickets the first day, and wickets or outs. They got 2 of them on the first day, and they were down already like 165 to nothing. Like the first day, terrible. And also, Laka, every time a ball came his way, he's not catching shit. Oh no. And speaking of not catching shit, old dude, Chicken Man, his catch, not catching. Like he's not doing anything. Slingshot Man, I don't think he pitched day one. Goalie didn't pitch day one, I don't think. But anyway, they
drummer boy has literally never caught the ball.
has never caught the ball.
Has
Yeah,
never caught the ball. He is always he is the one that it just boop boop,
yeah,
like can't get it. And I know we see, but yeah, Locke. I think he has 2 different ones where he is trying to catch it, and instead of catching it, kind of smacks it out of bounds behind him, causing like the most points you can receive. Ridiculous.
Yeah. And they find out because Elizabeth catches him talking to old dude and tells everybody. And Village finds out, they corner him, getting ready to fucking murder the man. Kind of rightfully, not rightfully so, but rightfully so. He's trying to screw over their entire province. And so, but Buvan calms them down, and he actually gives Laka a second chance because Laka sees the error of his ways and pleads tremendously. And he's like, okay, but you're going to have to prove yourself tomorrow. And day 2 comes around, and Laka immediately proves himself by catching the first hit that they do. Out. Wicked elimination. Yeah. Bam. Here come the eliminations now. Now we're doing good. Uh-oh, it's down to like Captain Russell. Let me tell you, asshole, terrible person, pretty good cricket player. Pretty good cricket batter. That man is just everything they throw at him. Boop, boop, boop.
Yeah, and he's a really good strategist too.
Yeah,
it's at this point like at one point they do finally bring in the slingshot guy. And he's just mowing him down at first. Mowing him down. And then all of a sudden, Captain Russell walks over to the batter and he's like, listen for the grunt. When he grunts, that's the one that he's throwing it.
Yeah.
You're welcome. And then from that moment on, they're just like, oh. Boom. Yep. They bring out their secret weapon, the guy who's supposed to spin the ball. I don't know if it's ever fully explained. Is it because like he's dealing with a clean ball and then a dirty ball?
I don't know.
Like he can only spin like a dirty used ball?
Maybe that's it. I don't think they explained it, but day 1 it didn't work. Day 2, he was in the middle of the field and things are looking bleak and or grim. Blim. Things are looking pretty blim. And
People might be trying to sleep in my house. I should laugh.
Sorry. Yeah. Things are looking pretty bad. And what's his name? There's another hit to the outfield. Katra picks it up, tries to throw it to Buvan, and it finally spins. Buvan's like, that happened? Get him over here. And people are like, what the fuck are you doing, man? We were finally starting to get into a groove. No, it's on now. And sure enough, here comes the spin. They start getting people out. I forget how to get Russell out, but I was happy that Katra got his moment. And then a whole bunch of other people are like getting their moment on like day 2. And it's like, okay, this is cool. But eventually they are all out, and the good guys are down like 332 to nothing or some shit. But now they got a bat, and Buvan's like, we bat the rest of today and tomorrow. Deva, you and me, we're gonna go out there, and we are gonna fucking hold out for the rest of today. Because only like 4 of us are good at batting. So we gotta make our good batters survive, and they gotta go out first. We gotta come out and hit hard. And then Buvan and Davis like, I'm right, Davis about that life just from the get-go. So he's like, you damn sure. And then they walk out and they fucking gladiator. They both do the gladiator, the fucking dirt.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, they're gladiatoring? Oh no, they about to go to work.
Look out!
No, they didn't do the synchronized knee drop. You gotta watch out for that shit. Something that this show has taught me about gladiatoring.
If you fuck with dirt right before you fight, I'm running away.
Yeah.
I'm running away.
You know who else used
if we're about ready to throw down, and you reach down and grab some dirt and rub it.
You know who else used to reach down, pick up part of the field before doing his thing on his way out to start murderizing people? Ray Lewis.
Yep. Yep.
Just saying. Just saying.
Murderizing people, key word there.
Hey, you know.
Hey,
But
Hall
God-
of Famer. We don't talk about that.
God, he would not be a Hall of Famer. God does not make Hall of Famers out of bad people. Ray Lewis quote. Anyway, so they get out there and they're ready to go. They start batting, and something happens, and Davis slips up and he gets out early on. And he's like, fuck. He gets like 20 runs. Bouvon starts off at like 49, just like they come out there, they do their gladiator thing, and they are doing their shit. I forget exactly how Davis slips up, but he gets eliminated. He's crushed. He's like, damn, I came here to wreck some shit. I wanted to smash that ball to smithereens. But he goes off, and then Locke's like, I'm gonna keep proving myself. I'm going out here. And fucking dude's like, teach this motherfucker a lesson. Take his head off. And so they just pitch that shit right to the dude's eye, or I thought it was. It's like above the eye. But he gets concussed and can't keep playing, so they just call him out. I'm like...
Well, no, while he knocks the wickets down.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah. Yeah, that's in his flail of getting hit in the head, he smacks the wickets down.
That is fucked up. That cricket works that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if that's how that still works, but that's how the movie logic was telling you how it works. Yeah. The only one who was removed without being out was the dude who got hit in the ankle.
Okay.
That's why he was able to come back.
I was wondering why Laka couldn't come back. I just thought he was just super duper concussed, and they're just like, nah, you
No,
done.
because they got a wicket out of that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so Laka gets eliminated, and freaking Drummer Man comes out. Just hitting the ball, screaming his ass off until they eliminate him through some bullshit. And Bouvon the whole time, Mr. Number One in the Royal Rumble out here, just goddamn, everybody keeps getting eliminated. And what cracked me up about
oh my god, that's great! I didn't even think about that. Yeah, he's number one in the Royal Rumble. That is absolutely what this is.
But what cracked me up is the British, like, superiors who are here to punish Captain Russell if he loses, but can't ignore a good game of cricket, yes. They're literally just sitting on the sidelines. And they're actually not that biased in their commentary about the game. They're just here to enjoy the game. Oh, jolly good. He did a really good hit there. Yes. Yeah. Oh, he might have a hat trick. Bright future in cricket for that young man.
Towards the end. Get it. Bloody get it.
Oh, man. Yeah, it was great. And then fucking the second day ends, and they're like, damn, we need a lot of fucking runs tomorrow, and all our good people are down. What the fuck are we gonna do? Next day comes out, and comes up, Uncle Ishtar, or whatever his name is. He's like, I can't run a lot, but damn it, I'ma do what I can. And that motherfucker was a real one. He ran until his body betrayed him, and he literally couldn't. And he's just sad going to the sidelines like, I couldn't run. And it was heartbreaking because, damn, as someone
we could see it as an audience, but Bouvon couldn't. Like, Bouvon was just trying to get that. He was trying to just steal that last extra point. And yeah, it was getting too aggressive. But he didn't know how. He didn't see how
it was affecting.
We as the audience could see how bad he was doing. But yeah, it was rough.
But he went out there and did it. And then I had my next note is typed in all caps. Goranta! Goran comes out, talks his shit, and just starts hitting home runs. I'm like, yes. It was a short time, but it was a good time before Goran he was here for a good time, but not a long time. He gets eliminated. Goalie comes out, and they're like, you got this, goalie? I don't know if I got this. And people are like, be careful, goalie. You just got to do a little bit. And I'm like, I believe in goalie. And he immediately gets eliminated. And so my next thing after that is LOL. Like, I literally have, I believe in goalie. Hyphen LOL. He gets immediately eliminated. And then they come out with the dude with the broken leg, and they get the kid Topu to run for him. And or Tipu. Yeah, Ismail. And Ismail's like, I'ma do what I can do. I don't care if they broke my leg. I'm going down for my fucking country. This team is made of a bunch of real ones. But fucking they get Tipu to do the running for him. And Buvan at first is like, only run when I tell you to. But as they keep racking shit up, because him and Ismail are just like cracking them away, the kid starts getting more and more cocky about getting ready to run. And I noticed it early on. I'm like, this kid is starting to run before the pitch is happening. Ain't he going to get a penalty for that or something? Because he is running before that pitch is thrown. But eventually, instead of just a penalty, they waited till he started going and just, how's that, umpire? And eliminated. I'm like, poor kid, but yeah, that's why you don't run early.
He was so sad.
Kid was so sad. Yeah, that's why like, poor kid. But
I think it vocalized to the room. I was like, I don't. Hey, that's. I don't find that dirty. That's not dirty to me. That's gamesmanship. That's just playing the game.
Yeah, exactly. Poor kid.
Is that British dude's fault that kid is 11 or whatever?
Yeah. Like, and I mean, it's like the people that lead off for like 20 feet in fucking baseball.
Yeah, technically, it's an advantage. Technically, it is taking an extreme advantage if you get closer to the other side.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's just, you fucked up, kid.
Exactly. You'll get it. You'll get it in time. You got a long life ahead of you. But yeah, eventually we get down to it's Katra and Buvan as the last two hitters. Katra, for obvious reasons, not the best of hitters. But they need X amount of points and not a lot of balls. And he's just trying to, and it's Katra's turn to hit, but I think they need it to be a single so that it can be Buvan's chance to hit. And he's like, we just need a single. They're not getting it from Katra. And eventually there's a pitch that happens, and or one of those early pitches to Katra. I'm like, he stepped over the line. He looked like he's about to step over the line. Because they also show the ref paying close attention to his feet, like from a camera angle. I'm like, they're taking note of him almost stepping over the line. So when it gets to that last pitch and he does it and Katra can't hit it and the British people start celebrating, I'm like, this is going to be a no ball, right? It's got to be a no ball. And then sure enough, no ball. What? No ball. And kudos to that ref. That's an NBA ref right there. What do you mean? What do you mean it's not a ref? I'm not discussing it any further. Damn it, that's what it is. I'm the ref and I said it. And I say the NBA refs because them motherfuckers, they've been getting full of themselves lately with these fucking teas. Like, there's a rule. I don't like that. Oh yeah, well, get your ass out the game. Yeah. And that's kind of how I felt about this guy. Like, if he could eject people, he's like, keep talking to me if you want to. I said it's no ball. Keep fucking pitching. It's one more game and swap the batters while you're at it. And then fucking Buvan goes, hits the ball, and I'm like, okay, they're going back. and then they show Captain Russell catch it, and again I'm like, he's gonna be out of bounds though, right? And there's no way they lose this. And then sure enough, he's out of bounds, and it's a fake out catch. And of course, on some Lion King shit, it rains magically when the day is saved.
Some Lion King shit. Yeah, yeah.
It magically rains when the day is saved. Everybody's happy, and fucking as everybody's leaving and the story's wrapping up, Liz stops by them on her thing and she comes out and her eyes look like she's just been, because she tries to go celebrate with them, but she sees Bhuvan and Gowrie celebrating and she's like, yeah, that's never gonna happen between me and him. And by the next time we see her, it looks like she's just been crying that whole time since, but she just comes out, says her goodbyes, and goes off into the sunset. It's just like, and what's his name got sent to Africa. Provinces didn't pay taxes for 3 years. The end. I don't like as much as you dragged out everything else. I was like, and exactly what we said would happen when this movie ends happened when the movie ended. Credits now. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was getting invested in that game. The game definitely saved the movie for me, like the second day 2 and day 3 with the comebacks and stuff, because there were characters I wanted to do good. Like when I found myself literally being like, oh shit, let's go. Come on, man, you can get this hit. I'm like, ah, oh, damn, talking to it like it's an actual fucking sport. I'm like, so it worked. I was actually invested in a game of cricket. Probably would not have been if it was going by the original plan. Because, boy, there were a lot of fast forward sequences as part of this cricket game. To just be like, and then the thing read up, but if there were 3 hours cut from this fucking movie. No, 4 hours. There were 4 hours cut from this movie.
Yeah.
Those speed ups are playing out in real time in that director's cut. You see all 300, all like 700 wickets that get scored in this game. Or not wickets, but runs. All 700 runs. Yeah, all 700 runs that get scored in this game. You probably see that in the director's cut.
Yep.
But yeah, that's Lagaan.
That was Lagaan, man. I like I said earlier on, I was weirdly captivated by this, even though it was slow, and I did have to. I had to break it up, but I wasn't like it was. It was very much a chore until about 30 minutes in, and then I was looking forward to everything that came next. And then when I eventually did have to stop just because it was getting late and I wanted to do something else with my evening other than watch Lagan, and I had already watched almost 2 hours of Lagan. Um, I popped it off. But I was eager, I was excited to get it started again the next night when I got home from work. Um, I enjoyed myself. I think there was. It's hard to say that there was a bad acting performance in the lot. I enjoyed everything and everybody. Maybe Elizabeth is a little. She just rubs me wrong a little bit, but overall, a lot of people did a lot of really good work. Amir Khan's intensity is pretty captivating. I think um, Gracie Singh, who played Gowrie, is absolutely adorable in this movie. I think Paul Blackthorne, who plays Captain Russell, is like a really good villain of like maniacal, smart, uh, um, intent. It was it was it was very enjoyable to me.
Yeah. In a similar vein for that, I did enjoy all the acting. It, like you said, slow start, but it captivated me enough to keep watching. I never at one point was like, yeah, I'm gonna break this. Like, I thought about breaking it up into two. I thought about stopping it right before the cricket game, like whenever it finally got to that. But I was like, by the time the cricket game came, I was like, screw it. Watch some fucking cricket. I want to see what happens now. And so it kept me just interested enough to keep going. And the acting roles and stuff are good. The only thing for me, even though I know it's part of the movie and I like it in some contexts, the musical numbers were a little much. But for me, it was not necessarily that it was a little much to have them. It's just some of them went on way too long. But
Yeah,
it's also part of the genre. From what?
yeah, yeah. And that makes sense. And I mean that at times is also rubbing my ear a little wrong and feels like it's lasting a little long because I think that's another one of those cultural divide things where we're just so not used to like a female singing in that register for that often. Usually that's a note that you go up to for three notes in once in your song, and instead it is the entire song is living up there. So sometimes it's a little but yeah, I enjoyed the intent with each musical number, even if sometimes I wasn't fully enjoying the music itself. I would say the we're celebrating that rain is here song. I enjoyed that, and I also did enjoy uh Buvan and Gauri's
Half of the
proclamation
you enjoyed their half of that
slash
song.
yeah, starting to get busy
Yeah.
song.
I enjoyed that song, like I said, one because of their part being the objectively better part of the song, and two, I was just laughing at how out of place Elizabeth was. With the Disney, like, got, like, she literally sounds like some fucking Belle Bonjour shit. Like, that's what she fucking sounds like
Yeah.
with in juxtaposition to, as you mentioned, the rest of the like music. So I was just like, what is this Disney ass shit? It just sold her delusion so much more to me. So that's why I enjoyed that part, because I was laughing at her misery, I suppose. Schadenfreude. But that is Lagaan. It's pretty good. Give it a watch. You may want to split it up. You may be able to sit and watch all 4 hours, but you'll enjoy yourself. Um, yeah. So that's Lagaan. Bill, what are we watching next? Because I don't think we've mentioned this.
Um. Well, I don't know. You had a little bit of a thought for last week. If you want to go down that road, I will say, despite what you may have heard, I have not seen uh Super Mario.
Oh, okay. I haven't either.
I may have stated in the past that I assumed I would see it at some point, or that I may have even
Gotcha.
planned to see it at some point, but I never did.
Fair. Well, damn it.
You want me to grab something, or do you want to choose the other one?
We can choose the other one. You haven't seen either one of the two of the other one, right?
I'm like 85% sure.
That you haven't.
Right. If I did see the first one, it was in a fever dream.
Okay. Then let's do it. Let's take it back to the 90s. But actually, like 4 years ago in real life. But we're talking about. When you think 90s, you think video games, and you think the console wars of old. And there were two people at the top of it.
You do. When you think 90s, you think video games, and you think the cops.
What? Nintendo versus Sega wasn't a thing? Sega
No,
does what
I'm just saying
Nintendo...
that is the order in which you do it. You think the 90s, you think video games, and you think the
well, we already
Nintendo
mentioned...
versus Sega.
Well, yeah, we already mentioned Mario, so who had a movie recently. But you know who else had a movie before him? You know who else did what Nintendo didn't for a while? Even though Nintendo kind of did already do it, it just wasn't good. Anyway, Sonic had a movie. We're going to be watching Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic the Hedgehog. We're going to watch the original graphical cut, right? Before they corrected the CGI?
Nah. And it ain't even like, I don't think the people should have been death threatening the folks for that version. That was too much. But they needed to fix it. Two things can
in
be true.
India, head bobble can have a variety of different meanings. Most frequently, it means yes, or is used to indicate understanding. The meaning of the head bobble depends on the context of the conversation or encounter. It can serve as an alternative to thank you, as a polite introduction, or it can represent acknowledgement. Head bobbles can also be used in an intentionally vague manner. An unenthusiastic head bobble can be a polite way of declining something without saying no directly. The gesture is common throughout India, however, it is most frequently used in South India.
Huh. Fair enough. So kind
There
of like
you
what
go.
we had started to surmise.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that's
absolutely.
cool. That's
If you
cool.
want to catch us anywhere else, obviously we got all kinds of This Guy Hasn't Seen videos right down below and at the Feo Grande channel. We also do a show on Saturdays called You Don't Watch Sports. It's about sports and it's really cool. We drop a little bit of sports information into your conversation as we are your guiding light through all of that sports. Omari, where else can they find you?
You can find me elsewhere on YouTube under Whatever We Want podcast. New episodes every week, every Wednesday. I do it with a good friend of mine and good friend of the show, Super Jazz.
Super Jazz.
Thank you very much, as nature intended. Before I go down that tangent again, yes, I also have
As
a Twitter
nature's
and Twitch.
intentions.
As nature's
You said that at
intentions.
the end of an episode a while back. And it's still-
As
gets
nature,
me.
I like my
As
line,
nature's
nature's intentions. Nature's intentions and all of that. But yes, I also have a Twitter and Twitch at Giotavi. That is Giotavi. Come on in, stop on by. Yes, sir. Gonna be playing some Tekken 8 soonish. Yeah. By the time this comes out, that'll be soonish, like in a month or
Who's
two.
what's the because don't they always have like guest characters now?
To start, not any.
Oh,
It'll probably be a DLC one though.
Hmm.
To start though, they just have like new characters. The guest characters are the new characters, which aren't guests; they're just new.
right.
But
There's
yeah,
no like
Negan.
Jason. Negan.
Now, you want Jason? You want Mortal Kombat?
Darth Vader.
X? I think Jason was Mortal Kombat X.
Hmm.
Freddy was Mortal Kombat 9.
Oh, the Mortal Kombat have guest characters too. I thought that was a Tekken thing.
Oh yeah, Mortal Kombat's been doing it for a minute, since at least 9. Kratos was in one of them. Anyhow, that'll be it for us. We'll see you next week with Sonic the Hedgehog, Jim Carrey. Adiosness.